The Case of the Vanishing Ink. In the foggy streets of London, Sherlock Holmes sat by the fire at 221 B. Baker Street. His sharp eyes scanned a letter that had arrived that morning. Dr. Watson shuffled in, carrying a cup of tea. "Another case, Holmes?" he asked. Sherlock smirked. "A puzzle, Watson. Ink has vanished, and with it, a man's fortune." The letter was from Mr. Clarence, a nervous bookseller. He'd written in a shaky hand, "My rare manuscript is ruined." The ink on its final page, gone. It held the clue to my family's treasure. "Please, Mr. Holmes, help me." Sherlock folded the letter. "Curious," he muttered. "Ink doesn't vanish. Someone makes it vanish." Holmes and Watson arrived at Clarence's dusty shop by noon. Shelves groaned with old books, their leather spines cracked and faded. Clarence wrung his hands. "It was locked in my safe," he stammered. "A 14th century poem, priceless. The last page told where my ancestor hid his gold. Now it's blank." Holmes knelt by the safe, his magnifying glass glinting. "No scratches, no forced entry. Interesting." Watson frowned. "Could the ink have faded naturally?" Holmes shook his head. "This was deliberate, Watson. Look, the page smells faintly of lemon, and there's a smudge of wax near the edge." He stood, pacing. Lemon juice can erase certain inks. Heat reveals it again. Someone knew this and didn't want Clarence to know. Clarence blinked. But who? Only my assistant Eliza and my nephew Thomas knew about the manuscript. Holmes raised an eyebrow. "Tell me about them." Clarence sighed. "Eliza's quiet, always dusting books. Thomas is impatient, wants my money now, not later." Watson scribbled notes. Holmes smirked again. "Greed is a fine motive." Holmes examined the shop. A candle stub sat on a shelf. Its wax dripped onto the floor. Nearby, a rag smelled faintly sour, like lemon. "Someone heated the page here," Holmes said, "then wiped it clean." He turned to Clarence. "Summon Eliza and Thomas. I have a theory." The two arrived, uneasy. Eliza clutched a duster, her eyes darting. Thomas slouched, tapping his foot. Holmes held the blank page near the fire, not close enough to burn, just to warm. Slowly, faint brown lines appeared. Words, a map. Clarence gasped, "It's back!" Watson stared. "Ingenious, Holmes." Holmes turned to the pair. "The thief erased this, with lemon juice, planning to reveal it later, alone. But they left clues. Wax from a candle, a rag with lemon scent, and—" he pointed to Thomas's sleeve. "A wax strip on your cuff, sir." Thomas paled. I was just cleaning." Holmes stepped closer. "Cleaning a fortune, perhaps?" Thomas stammered, then bolted for the door. Watson tackled him with a thud. "Got him." Clarence clutched the manuscript, trembling. "My nephew, after my gold." Holmes dusted his hands. "Greed blinds, Clarence. He erased the ink to claim the treasure himself. A simple trick, undone by simpler observation." Later at Baker Street, Watson sipped tea. "How'd you know it was Thomas Holmes?" Sherlock leaned back, pipe in hand. "The wax, Watson. Eliza dusts books. She'd never leave a candle dripping. Thomas, impatient and sloppy, did. Elementary." Watson chuckled. "You never cease to amaze." The fire crackled. Outside, London hummed. Another case solved. Another puzzle unraveled. Sherlock Holmes closed his eyes, waiting for the next letter to arrive.